All right, still on pivot table. This time around, we want to create a slicer. A slicer helps you to filter with a button with just a click. So what I'm going to do for us to insert a slicer, we are going to use later in our dashboard. All I need to do is to click on this, table, the first table I have here, then go to pivot tables analyze, click on it, you see insert slicer, you click on insert slicer. So what am I going to filter this table with? I'm going to click on designation and said okay. Okay, can you see that I have created slicer? Now observe something very closely when I select from this. So in this designation, we'll have associate and senior associate. If I click on associate, you see that this says men reduce. It means that some of them are in associate designation while others are in senior associate. Can you see the difference? Now, but if you look closely, this slicer is only affecting this table, but we want in a case where the slicer can affect all the tables I have in this place. So I'm going to connect all the tables to this slicer such that it will now make my dashboard and my table to be dynamic and interactive. So how am I going to connect all these tables together such that once I click on filter, it will affect every of them. So what I'm going to do now is to click on this report connection. If you click on report connection, you see all the tables that I have. So what I'm going to do now is to tick all of them so that they can interact and be dynamic. So all the table I've created, I will tick it. I'll tick all of them and observe what will happen afterwards. Okay, I'm still ticking. So this is the last. And I say okay. Good. I've linked all the tables I have here together. So watch what will happen when, let me unfilter first. Okay, if I filter associates, take a look on profit and loss and also on the number of sales. Can you see that it has changed from 8 million to 6 million? This is the number of sales associate salesmen we're able to provide, also made. The count of customer ID also reduced. If I click on senior advocate, senior associate, you see that every other thing is also changing. The sum of net is changing, the sum of net sales is changing, their profit and loss is changing, the destination is also changing. So that's what this slicer does for you. It helps you to filter using just button. So we are also going to create another slicer still here. If I want to unfilter, just click on this to go. So still here too, I'm going to click on pivot table analyze and insert a slicer. So this time around, I want to slash ship mode. I want to add ship mode to my slicer, and I say okay. Okay, can you see the ship mode has appeared? If you look here, you can see the number of columns. I want to increase it to 2. So I have 2 columns of my slicers here. So I move it to this side. So what happens if I filter first class mode? It will also only affect this table from which I created it. So what I will do is also to connect it just like I did with destination slicer. So I'm going to click on my reports connection and highlight and click all the tables so that they can interact and make the table interactive. All right, so I click on all the tables, all the pivot tables, and say okay. So anytime I click on any of the modes, okay, good, fine. Can you see that the first class, the numbers are changing? I click on second class, it's changing. And let's assume, let me filter 2 things are together at the same time, associates and the same day delivery. I think they are all changing. So that is what slicer does for you, and it makes your dashboard interactive. So this is how you can connect your slicers to your pivot table and get a very good result. So before I round it up, let's just add one more as what we call timeline. Timeline also works with dates. So still on this first table, I'll click on pivot table analyze. This time around, I'm not inserting slicer, I'm inserting timeline. So it works with date. So I'll just select ship date and say okay. So you see it has shown me ship date and order. If I click on this, it's only affecting this. But before I link everything and connect everything together, I'll go to this month and put year so that I can have the filter by year. All right, so drag drag it and I move it to another location. So let me link it to, okay, let me link it to all other tables. All right, so I'll go to my report connection and link it again, so that every table will interact with it and makes the your dashboard presentation very interactive. No, now I have linked all. So let me assume I want to see the sum of sales that was done in 2012. I'll click on this slicer. It has shown me the sum of sales done by salesmen. It also showed me the total profit for the year and the customer ID, the sum of total, and all of that. So let's assume in 2012, I also want to see what associate designation members did. I will also add it to my filter. Then now the result will show here. So that's how it works. It helps you to drill down your table to get the best result you want. So you have learned how to add slicers and the timeline to your pivot table. The next time we're going to be doing is how to create a pivot chart. So thank you for watching this video to the end. We'll continue in our next video. Make sure you follow, like, and subscribe, and follow me as I journey in this data analysis learning phase. Thank you.